Hey, gang, how's everybody doing tonight?
Well, I got garbled real fast.
Somebody's over Sean's shoulders. The ghost of Christmas past.
No, it sounded like somebody was getting their car towed.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like, beep, beep, beep. It's like a tow truck backing up. Like, so
wait, weren't you worried about your car?
No,
live on a Reef Collective, a live car towing, everybody.
Exactly.
See, I wasn't worried about it. I was hoping for it. There's a difference.
Oh, I don't know who hopes for that.
What?
I just want to tow him just to be that guy, you know? Just to be the guy. They're like, why'd you tow my car? It's registered. I don't know what you're talking about. You guys just didn't check it properly.
Happy Saturday night, everybody. As you can see, we're crazy. It's the end of the week. We're talking about car towing. Who's had their car towed?
Oh, thanks for everybody for joining this week. So we are going to be chatting about DIY on our reef tanks. You know, we've all done it, and people do it all the time to save money. So we're going to have a couple guests on here. They're going to show us off, you know, a little bit of their setups and what they've built, and we're just going to have a good old chat about DIY.
Hey, maybe we'll bring some wild cards into the room. Hopefully, it's nothing crazy.
Right?
You got a DIY project? You got a DIY project? Come on, give us a shout.
Yeah, anybody wants out there in the big world wants to get on the show tonight, I can send you a link and you can show off your DIY projects. I'd love to check them out.
Mm-hmm.
Please, no profanity and no craziness. It's Saturday night. I've had my drink already. Come on. I can't take it.
Too, while we're at it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Well, I'll start it off with talking about all the crap I've been doing this week. DIY, man. Anybody want to know about catastrophe? So you start to build your stand for all your systems, and you get all the material, you tape measure it out, and you realize all your measurements have been wrong.
Yeah, it always happens, eh?
I'd literally have to throw my couch out if I built what I was going to build.
Yeah, is that you're building? Is that for your seahorse tank? Is that what you're planning on doing?
Well, yeah, I was going to carry probably 3 tanks on that system and bring in the filtration underneath, but I realized 6 of those things are not going to fit. I can't put it where I want to put it. The way I have it now, it works, but what I'm going to add will probably make me have to move a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that makes it like a real pain in the ass for sure. Yeah, I've done the same thing where you think it's going to fit, but it's not going to fit, or you've oversized it and it takes up too much of the room.
That was a perfect "that's what she said" moment right there. I just want to put that out.
That's what she said. Size matters.
Does it matter in this hobby though?
All the time.
Hell yeah.
Right? You get one size of tank and you always want to go bigger.
Oh my God. Bigger is not necessarily better though.
More expensive.
Bigger is always better, no?
No, that's more maintenance, more chemicals, more fish, more coral, more rock, more sand. That's a whole lot more, which means the one thing that it does a whole lot less is leave money in your wallet. I'm just saying.
It's like that guy that left that post in the BRS about, you know, how much does it cost people's tanks to get them all set up and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question too. Now, DIY, does it work out better building it yourself, or does it work out better just paying for what you were going to pay up front? That's like a big question. How many times have you spent more than you have actually spent just buying a stand?
Well, yeah, it's true. It's like for my new freshwater tank, I was going to put some, like, you know, high-end lighting on there, but then I'm thinking I want to sort of bring things back the way I started with Farm Boy Reef, was doing some DIY. So I was looking at different lights that I could put over the tank, and I found a nice set. So I'm going to be running 4 lights over. You guys will see the video coming out. And I had like a hanging system from Hydra before, so I incorporated that with these lighting and made a bracket for it. I think it's going to be pretty cool, and the price was right. And I'm hoping you guys see with the new controller the Hydro's 4, like Sean's got hooked up on his tanks now, there's that new Braco box, and I'm just wanting to figure out, you know, from 0 to 10 volts, am I able, because I have another driver, I could drive all these LEDs off one driver and dim them if possible. I know it's not have to really be dimmable on a freshwater tank, maybe not, but maybe just to set the mood the odd time, you know?
Well, I'll tell you, probably just aesthetics.
Exactly.
No, I was just saying that's a great thing about that breakout box, though. I mean, It's still being played with and learned on how to use it and everything. So I mean, you can be one of the pioneers on figuring that one out and help other people.
Well, exactly. That's the thing. Like, is there a setting on there you can actually dim with though?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's voltage. You can change the voltage on there that it's going through it.
Okay, because I saw the video that you shared with me where it was like a float. It was more like on and off flow, running like low voltage. But is there actually on the app? Is there a slider where I can dim it or?
I believe so. I don't think it's on there just now. I think that's coming out in an update. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on this one. Please, everybody, Coral View, don't yell at me for that. I don't know 100%, but I assume it's there. Like I had heard something about it in passing.
Yeah. Okay.
I neither confirm nor deny.
It's a cool feature for the DIY guys, right?
Yeah, but here's the question: if you have that slider, is it going to gradually increase the lighting over a period of time, or do you have to set multiple times into it?
Yeah.
Like, can you like my lights? I know the sunny. Let's say I set 10 o'clock start, and then I'll set 12 o'clock 80%. It'll actually ramp in increments between 10 o'clock and without me having to put in each number.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. For myself on the freshwater tank, I don't think it's a big deal for me. More it'd be just at night I want to ramp the lights down a little bit as I'm sitting there enjoying the tank. I don't need a full blast.
I don't know.
I only use it basically because I like looking at sunset in the I look like sunset after work and sunrise in the morning. But after that, like with the cube here, from what I've learned is like plants wise, they just want spectrum. They don't care about the dimming and the and like I just set it for at least 6 to 7 hours of full in one period of the day.
Yeah, exactly. And it's freshwater tank. Just like you said, we don't need to be ramping it through like with my reef brights, they ramp up and down through the day. It's different on the corals, right? We're just trying to grow plants in this tank.
I mean, with my fresh tank, my light kicks on and it turns off. That's it. But there's no dimming, no nothing. It is what it is. Plants don't care. The fish don't care.
Well,
yeah. So how come they care in the reef tank and they don't care in the planted tank? I got to defend my freshwater people out there because it's the same sun. The same sun rises over the reef that rises over a lake.
Because you're talking about a plant versus an animal?
Now we get into the science.
Yeah.
But it'd be spawning. Spawning would be right? Spawning.
Well,
I mean, it would be influenced by it, but it's not reliant on it, I guess.
But the sun goes up and down over planted tank. So why don't we worry about ramping on the planted tank? It's the same sun.
True.
Probably.
You're challenging everybody.
You're the
really need to ramp.
You're the freshwater guy.
Yeah, but I'm the reef guy too. So in the new build, I'm going to use the T5s, which don't ramp. Like before we had the LEDs, there was no ramping.
Right.
And I'm going to see if the growth is different versus when I have the tank upstairs ramping up and down.
But wouldn't you be looking into like PER and looking at usable radiation from the light? So realistically, ramping wouldn't necessarily have a difference because plants can only use so much.
Dave said, "Hell yeah, it does."
we need to get somebody on here that actually answer to that because I'm kind of curious. I don't know. I can't really come up with logical arguments either way.
Well, if we're talking about PAR, let's start with PAR because everybody's kind of familiar with PAR. If you ramp up, right, that means you're starting with the lower PAR than your goal. So if you start at, let's say, 7 o'clock at the lowest level, you're not going to reach the PAR that you really measured until the end of that period.
Right.
So you're actually losing PAR for that whole duration of the ramping on both ends.
Or it's still being used, but just not as much as when it's at the higher end of the spectrum there.
Okay, so here's a light. So the light, because everybody can see my shitty green screen, the light. So the light is at maximum, right? The light is at maximum. But okay, now here's the sunrise.
Right.
That's not the same PAR. This would be maximum PAR. Mm-hmm. And then as it turns, now you lose PAR. So why are we ramping?
I feel like this is a Tulio question, and we should get him back on and ask him.
Tulia. He'd have a very, very simple explanation too.
Yes, I think we would dive way too deep in this, and he would just be like, "Oh, here's why," and that's it, done. But I can't answer it. Can't do it.
I can text him right now and find out.
I really miss actually like the metal halides. Like everybody had the metal halides were just.
I like
They
my metal.
actually started off dim until the bulb got hot, and that's where we got the ramping idea from.
That's kind of funny, actually. I was just talking about metal halides today with a guy at my local fish store. So, quick little shout out to Plant and Paul up there. If any of you guys are in the Colorado Springs area, go see them. They're awesome, awesome people there. I went there. I was looking for an assassin snail. He actually said he didn't have any. Started snooping around, found one, gave it to me, didn't even charge me. He was like, "Here, I got you." And I was like, dang, now I can appreciate that. I mean, where are you going to get customer service like that from Amazon? I'm just saying. Ryan.
Oh, wow.
I was taking heat on social media for buying off Amazon today.
Yes, everybody. He bought one assassin snail. You a cheap mother effer. He's going to be lonely now. No, John, one snail. What the hell you do with one snail? That's like eating one cracker.
It's all I need. It's got mystery snails in there and pond snails. So the assassin snail is going to go assassinate all of those little snails.
Well, I got to get a negative shout out. A negative shout out because
you're doing it in a natural way. One way to do it.
Yeah, but when they start breeding, you may be sick of those damn assassin snails.
How's it going to breed? There's only one.
Hey, it may just lay eggs. Snails ain't like they need two to breed. They could just leave a freaking whole bunch of shit on your glass. And next you know, you got a crap load of them in your tank.
That's okay. Then I'll sell them. Back to the give it to me free.
Big business.
Okay, so anyways, we're talking about DIY stuff. Well, you had the misadventure of measuring wrong, and I forgot to take into account proper fluid dynamics and gravity in setting up an auto water changing station this last week. It has now cost me more money than it would have for me to have just bought an auto water changer in dosing pumps and stuff.
Right, if you would have done it, not to say right the first time.
So now you're doing gravity? There's no pity on the fails.
I know, right? It's so bad.
We've all been there. We've all done it.
Oh, very man, if you haven't had water on your floor, you're not in this hobby all the way.
I mean,
you definitely.
Like I said last night, I do it every week. I'm just saying, when I make water, I forget about my RODI because I don't have a fancy mixing station like a lot of people, and I get sidetracked very easily, and next thing I know, I hear water trickling across my floor and dripping off of the bins and stuff.
Yep.
I put all the time. I just did it setting up my calcium reactor with about 3/4 gallon of salt water. Let me tell you, that's a pain in the butt to deal with when it goes under a stand on a hardwood floor.
Yeah, that's not good.
It stains the floor. I just dropped that part one, you know, the alkalinity. You don't realize, like, when you drop it on the floor until you see that white spot on the floor. I'm like, crap.
Yep.
The best thing to drop on your floor is PVC primer. I dropped some purple primer on my kitchen, piecing some stuff together, and now I have this nice purple stain on my floor.
Don't they make it clear?
Yep, they do. So you can't get rid of the purple unless you use the clear to get it up.
Oh.
That's why you always put a mat or something down.
It was late. I was in a hurry. I was trying to get some stuff glued. I'm just saying.
You know how it always sounds so simple and logical after the fact? Like, I should have put a mat down after I'm cleaning the white stain off of my floor.
It's always after the fact. It's like when I set up my water box, I was like, man, I've got high nitrates and stuff. I want to use a refugium. What am I going to do? Oh, let me jump online and buy this $30 hang on the side acclimation box, and I can turn it into a makeshift refugium. I do that with Ulva. Next thing I know, the Ulva is like, oh, to hell with it. And it just kind of started to like die and melt a little bit, but still keep growing and separated. And now I have an Ulva infestation in my tank.
Yeah, how are you going to get those out?
I bought a rabbit fish and so some tangs. So we'll see. We'll see how this works.
I'm still finding Astorina stars in this freaking tank. I turned off the lights yesterday to do some work, and I said, oh crap, I forgot to turn them back on. I went to the tank this morning. I had like 5,000 serpent star babies. I'm like, where the hell did these come from? They were like all over the rock, and I'm like, I don't know where they came from.
Oh yeah, they multiply like crazy. You get them in your filter socks all the time.
Oh man,
You know?
maybe I should sell those.
I know, right? I posted one time, and I had a school that had a tank. They reached out to me and they said, like, can we buy a bunch of these? I'm like, well, you can have them for free if you want. I don't know if I can ship them for you.
Sell them for like $3 a pop, D. Make some money.
There you go, buddy.
People buy them.
Ask them they want some pyramid snails too. Jesus, it took me a long time to get rid of those.
Hey,
Right.
get rid of your Astronistars. Just get a Harlequin shrimp in there to be okay.
It's hard. It's hard to find certain things now. You used to be able to find them much easier. I don't know how it is out by you guys. In New York, it's gotten really expensive. Like
Right,
to
you
get Harlequin or little things like that.
You want a Harlequin? I got a guy that can get them all day long. I was just up there. He's got four of them. Just saying. I'll send you
Tell him I'll meet him at the back of the store.
right. Right.
Throw it in, buddy.
All right. So who do we have in the back? Let's bring somebody on so we can start talking some more DIY stuff.
Yeah. All right. So we got Dave Wilson. Dave Wilson's going to show us a bunch of his goodies.
Whoa. I don't want to see his goodies.
Hey, Dave. How's it going?
That's going on.
Hey, let me first say you get like 10 points for the beard, man.
Right?
Hey, and I'm short. All right, let me figure out how to turn this thing around here. Not quite sure how to do that.
Go to the cam mic settings and then click on camera, and then it should have a drop-down menu where you can pick which camera you want. You should be able to just pick that cam.
We have it, and we have Dan Woods in the back too.
Dan?
He's a funny guy. He's a radio personality.
Oh, okay. Ah, there we go.
You also get a good laugh.
Good
out
old
of him.
fashioned PVC, baby. PVC.
Oh, we lost him.
Oh. And like that, he was gone. Kaiser Sosa. Kaiser Sosa.
That's unfortunate.
So who's Dan Woods?
So Dan Woods is actually one of my buddies from back home and back in Montana there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he's a radio personality and everything. He's just now saltwater and stuff. He's cool peoples.
Cool.
I'm excited to see what he wants to talk about.
All right.
You're back, Dave.
Yeah, sorry I lost you guys.
There he is.
Try to ignore my rat's nest. I'm still trying to get that straightened out right now.
It's all right. We all have those. Don't make me show you my control setup.
So
Hide it.
it's about 44 gallons altogether. It's I think it's 18 by 17 by 41 long. I got this little thing here. You can see where the water comes down.
Yep.
And then that goes over my filter socks. Move this out of the way. This is just to keep splashback because I make a lot of mess with the overflow. I got 3 filter socks, my refugium section right here. This is my skimmer section, and then there's my return section right here. I built all this out of glass, actually on my kitchen table. I work for a glazer shop, so I do a lot of glass work.
Perfect.
I'm actually currently working on a 93-gallon cube for a buddy of mine, which I'll probably post pictures of that up on the page once I get that finished. This is a ATO tank. It holds about 8 gallons of water. It's got a glass top on it. It just lifts off. It's kind of hard to lift it off with one hand, but this comes off like that.
That's a nice dimension. I like that'd be perfect for you, Sean. Look how it fits in there.
Yeah.
8 gallons.
Dude.
Yeah.
Over here is I got this stand off the side of the road and did some repairs to it. This is going to be where my Apex is going to go, so it's not under my stand anymore.
So it was free. The price was right.
Yeah, and I mean the parts like the bracketry and stuff that I got was kind of a pain. This is actually my tank. It's only about 2 months old. It's 120 gallon.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah, I'm
Nice
actually
and clean.
this guy right here. I'm kind of fighting some ick with him right now. I don't know what happened.
Uh-oh,
He-
rabbit fish.
In a couple of days, but I'm treating it with some medic right now, and he seems to be clearing up.
So sorry, your fish is sick. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's got
Yeah.
ick,
Oh,
and yeah, you can see him right here.
Poor guy.
Medic on it. It was actually a lot worse, but he's clearing up a lot.
did you try the medic on it?
I'm working. It's a couple of days in right now with him.
I've had great success with it.
Well, I've used it on a sailfin tang in the past, and it cleared it right up, which was good.
Yeah, that
So-
product is as soon as you see it, you use it right away. So it's
Yep.
good to have some on hand. That's when you get the best. It works the best.
I always keep a bottle with me.
Okay, good.
This is my light setup. This is actually I got this out of a dumpster on a job site. Like I said, I'm a glazer. I do a lot of work on a construction site.
Yep.
It's just
Free
a
is
hood.
good. Free is my friend.
Look at that.
Sorry for you guys, but as you can see, I got
Oh, nice.
D-Sunny lights.
Hey, the Sunny would love me just to hear that.
Dude, I bought them because of you.
That'd be- Look at
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not sponsored to Sunny now.
that.
But I got the ballast out of another setup. I got the wiring from another setup, and I threw everything together. I cut all the reflectors that were in the light so that they would fit right. I'm running ATI T5s. It's got a blue plus and a purple plus. They run for about 6 hours a day. The tank's normally not lit right now. I just lit it up for you guys so you can get a look at what's going on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can see a lot of the coral is still shrunk up right now, but my elegance right here is about 4 times the size when he's not all shrunk up.
Nice.
It's about-
That's very nice.
So now, which one do you have cut on first, the LEDs or the T5s?
The LEDs come on at about 6 o'clock in the morning. They start to ramp up. And at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, my T5s kick on till about 6 o'clock in the evening. Then they shut off.
All right.
And these start to ramp down.
Now, how crazy was it programming that? I asked everybody that because we just had a big thing about ramping up and down.
Yeah.
I thought it took me a while to get the right settings. I had to mess with it for a while. These are the 2017 models.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to mess with the way that they ramp. Like my white lights only go up to about 35% during the day, and my blues and my royal blues are at 100%. And of course, the T5s are on from 12 to 6. There's a lot of light in there
Yeah.
between 12 to 6. But it's kind of
So
got
now
that.
your
What's
lights
that?
are hanging? Your lights are hanging from the ceiling, or did you build a bracket?
If here, let me turn the camera around again.
It's right on his tank. Right. He sits on the top.
Oh,
As you can see right here,
okay. You built a lip there.
Okay.
if you look right here, it's got a piece of acrylic because I got cats that like to jump up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a problem.
Yeah, I don't exactly want them knocking it into the tank.
That's what I was going to ask you next, man. How secure is that?
No, it does. I mean, if I go like this, it does move. You know, I mean, you could see I'm thinking on it pretty good. It doesn't go nowhere.
I would just assume that one day your cat may decide to walk on top of that.
Well, he does it all the time. He sleeps up there. That's kind of why I made it like that. There's no chance of it falling into the tank.
It's like that video I shared in the club there. That cat went flying into that guy's tank. You see it?
Yeah. Catfishing.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty good setup you got there, especially with that lighting's pretty cool.
The other thing I like about with this is the way that I built it is I could actually I could slide my light.
it.
Yeah, true, right?
Oh, that's a good idea right there. You give me an idea there, Dave.
You just want to be careful you're not working it and it falls in there with you.
No, I mean, like you can use those cabinet glides.
Yeah, you
I
could.
had glides, and I could put that under my hood so I could slide the lights back and forth.
Look at that. You did
In the
that
next
night.
I did
In
a
the
lot of
next
this.
build.
on a budget, and a lot of the stuff that I got that I've built with is all salvage stuff from job sites and things like that. Most of my glass I save, like when we remove windows and stuff like that, like 1/4-inch glass, 3/8 glass. I save it all and put it in a corner because I got people. That hit me up time for stuff, sumps, ATO tanks. Like I said, I got one buddy that hit me up for a 93-gallon cube, which I'm working on right now. I should hopefully have that done within the next 2 weeks.
That's a tough thing. The night at that much water, what thickness of glass are you plan on using for that? Cause that could be a sketchy situation.
Well, the tank I built before that was a 75. The tank that I had before the 120 was a custom built 75 that I built myself.
Yep.
I used 3/8 glass. I used 3/8 Euro bracing on the top. Inside the tank, there was actually 1/4-inch Euro bracing across the bottom. You could sit a truck on this thing; it wouldn't break.
Nice.
Wow. I got a program that I use, and I work with one of the guys at work that tells me. I give him dimensions and stuff, and he could actually kind of CAD out what it'll look like and give me pressure points and what I should use and where to go and stuff like that. So between me and him, we normally make it out pretty good.
Nice. That's awesome.
Are you running
like
a controller on that tank?
Yes, I just got an Apex a couple weeks ago.
That's right. I saw you posted up and you were doing the cabinet, and that's the cabinet you showed then.
Yeah. Right now I ordered some 3-foot extension cords so that when it comes off the Apex unit itself, everything looks nice and neat. It's all the same color.
Get that water management under control, right?
It'll all run to the back and everything will plug into those and you won't even see any wiring. So.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's cool.
That's what it's all about, right? You give that nice presentation.
Like me opening up my cabinet right now and showing it right now, I'm kind of embarrassed because it's such a mess in there.
That is the epitome of DIY, though.
Yeah.
I mean, the tank setup I had before this one, when I moved the tank, it took me like 2.5 hours to untangle cords. It was
dang. That's
I don't even want to think about untangling the cords.
I mean, on that tank, I had a lot more DIY stuff. Like I had a DIY ATO system and stuff like that. That there's extra cords and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Very nice.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate you sharing your project with me. I know it's hard for people; they get embarrassed. You want to show your tank in the beginning stage, but we all have the beginning stage, and we all build, and not all of these builds go the way we plan.
Well, I mean, I've been trying to keep almost like a photo diary of the build from beginning until whenever. Just in case anybody ever asks, well, what did it take to do this? I could actually pull up the photo album and be like, well, this is where it started. This is what I went through.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's just like watching coral grow. You're documenting it.
Who does that?
75 I had before this one was so much better. I mean, when I moved, I lost about probably around $6,000 to $7,000 worth of coral.
Ooh, ouch. That
hurts.
I had acros. I had some Holy Grail micromusas that went. I had bounce mushrooms that died. I mean, I lost so much. It was terrible.
And if that was a few months to a year ago, that's like losing 12,000 this year because the price of everything is like double.
I mean, I've only been here about 2 months. This tank's only 2 months old, so it's still fresh. I'm still fighting things like algae. I got an ick outbreak, which I don't even know where the hell that came from. I haven't had ick in forever, but my poor fox face, I guess, he got stressed out not too long ago. The cat was messing with him, and then a couple days ago, he just popped up with ick.
Yeah. Well, some people think ick is always in your tank.
It's like catching a cold in my book. That's the way I break it down.
Ick is always in your tank, right? And then when a fish does get stressed out, it's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that he pulls through. I mean, he's been really healthy.
He looks pretty healthy, and you keep using your medic, follow that direction, it should be fine.
Yeah, I've been dosing. I do nine scoops in the morning, 9 scoops at night.
Okay, that's good. It's good that you got some. Hard to get lately.
Well, like I said, I had the issue once before with a sail fin, and it worked great on them. And I always kept a bottle just in case, but I never had to use it.
Right.
And now I'm still using it again. So
What's your temperature? What's your temperature set to in the tank?
77.5.
Because I would keep that like 78 and within that window, keep it warmer. It helps that medication go through the fish a lot better than when it's cold. That metabolism slows.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, this
Tank.
medication, it kills the free floating ick. It's the stuff that shoots down to the sand, it shoots back up, it kills that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could bump the temperature a little bit, but like I said, I've always kept it at 77.5. But I mean, if you guys recommend me bumping the temperature, I'll go up another 0.5 degrees. I mean, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference.
Won't make a difference on the fish and coral, but it'll make a difference on the ick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because usually if your room temperature is within 4 or better than the tank, then there is a period where the tank temperature will go down until the heater kicks it back up. So then that would bring your tank at around 75-ish.
Yep.
I've noticed with my Apex, it kicks in really quick. Like my temperature will drop to 77.4, and it'll immediately kick the heater back on and bring it up to 77.5.
Nice. Shout out to controllers. What do we do without them?
It's been controller month, man. I'm telling you.
Controller month. December is controller month.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. All right, Dave. Well, thank you again for showing us all your stuff. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you guys being on.
Yeah, it was nice meeting you.
Keep sharing those pictures on the Facebook page so we can keep tabs on the progress.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Like I said, I like to show off a little bit. I mean, things aren't great. And like I said, once that cube is done and I start water testing it, I'll definitely get some pictures of that for you guys and stuff.
Yeah, keep posting up in the club, man. Love seeing that stuff.
All right, guys.
Thanks a lot, Dave. It's nice meeting you, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks. It's great meeting you guys. Thanks for the advice.
Ciao, bud. Well, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he's definitely got some cool little things going on there. I wish I had the skill set to be able to do some of that stuff.
Oh, you do.
And you got to get past the fear.
I embrace the fear and the knowledge of knowing my limitations.
We all learned those limitations the hard way.
Know your limits and live within it, right?
Right?
Right.
All right, let's get Dan in here. Let's see what he's got going on.
Okay, and Farm Frags, he's in the back room here too.
Nice,
All
David.
right, cool.
Hey, Dan, how's it going, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Dan, welcome.
Thank you. Beav, you have the ability to create anything you want. And if you do not believe me, I can tell you stories about things you used to do with cars that would blow people's minds. So don't even go there.
Uh-oh. Well, we
You
heard a
forget,
car
way
getting
back
towed.
here.
We heard a car getting towed earlier. It might be his. He may be building one again.
Well,
Yeah, but you know what? That's working with metal and mechanical things. When it comes to dealing with glass and plastics, yeah, it's bad. I'm a bull in a china shop. I promise you.
no, I know better because I know you well. I know it's been a minute since we've had a conversation with one another and since we've seen each other, but I can tell you right now, I've seen you do some stuff under the hood of a car and in the cockpit of a car. I seem to recall somebody being pretty good with fiberglass and plastics before that was cool. So I don't even want to hear it.
Well,
Tell him. Preach on, brother.
yeah, we're getting all the secrets. Learn a little bit about Sean tonight.
No.
I thought he was going a different route. He was like all the things he did in the back of a car. I don't know where we were going with that.
We can talk about those too.
No. I'm a married man now. We're gonna.
Let's talk fish.
So here's my thing. I'm new to salt. I've had fresh water for a long time. I know I've been posting a lot lately with our freshwater and everything else, talking about going to salt. And I want to know how you can do, and I get it, salt's expensive. We all know this, but there's budget ways to do things, and there's to skip things DIY? What's like when you're prioritizing your build list? Where do you look at something and go, okay, this is something suited that I can, get somewhere else, or what you have?
Ooh, the controversy.
Yeah.
You ask that type of question, I promise you're going to get generally 3 different answers from us.
Well, okay, so here's the deal. Okay, real quickly, just shameless self promotion. Okay, I'm like he said, I'm a radio personality.
Yep.
I do internet videos for all sorts of different things. I'm sitting in our control studio here at home, but we and I mean we, because it's not just me. It's me, my whole family, some friends. We started a Facebook page and an Instagram, and we've been doing a few videos now. Peace, love, and fish. And the reason that we got into looking at this stuff is because I can ask one question and get 10 completely different answers, and 80% of them are generally wrong.
Or they're right, depending on the perspective and depending on the situation.
Well, that's true too. You're always, no fish is ever going to be the same. I can take 10 fish, put them side by side, have exact parameters across the board, and all 10 fish are going to be different. I get that. But one of the reasons why I was looking at this stuff, especially in the freshwater world where we're coming from, it's hard to weed through some of the BS that's out there, because some people, I get it. You've been doing it for years. You have a very strong opinion of how you do things. That doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I was going to jump in. That was one of the things that I was going to jump in and mention. DIY, before we went on air, the discussion was, at what point do you feel that you're spending more energy, money, and effort trying to do something that someone already has perfected? So my answer to that is not following everybody on the internet, not trying to run off and do it half-cocked, but to research multiple ways, look at tanks that have been up and running based on what you want to accomplish. Find out how they accomplished it, and before you start building, get all that information up front, because I think probably all of us have had that aha moment where we've tried to build our own lights, we try to build our own stand, and then you spend the money and you're like, you know what, I could have just bought this and it'd been the way it's supposed to be, correct, and I would know that it's going to stand the test of time, rather than, get some screws, build some crap, and next the leg's falling off, or it's rusting, or, or things of that nature. My best ally in my house, and behind the screen, which is a mess you can't tell, I have a library of books across decades. So I can look in a book from 1980 and see what tanks were doing then. I could look at what they're doing now and say, okay, wow, we still do this, before I jump in and try to build something myself.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
So, it's not just one opinion. It's not just D saying, oh yeah, the Sunny works, or this works, or that works, because before we had controllers, we had timers, and before we had timers, we just plain turned the lights off.
Yeah.
By the way, I did think it was cute. Beav over his shoulder there with the sponsor logo. I'm in radio. I get it. I get the sponsorship thing. No. When the other guy was on.
For the record, not sponsored. Just to clarify that, not sponsored. Just a huge support.
Okay.
What logo? Right? Logo.
He has the Hydra.
I don't see what logo. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I know. Hey.
Again, it was subliminal, right?
Yeah, it was subliminal. Yeah, because I don't know at all how StreamYard works at all. No. I don't use this exact program. I didn't know that I could put my logo behind me in 30 seconds before I jumped into the room. I mean, come on now.
I'm just a strong believer in good quality products, and I like to support companies that actually do good things and produce what the hobby in the industry actually need.
And that's amazing. And that is something that I will tell you truthfully, a few weeks ago, I stumbled across the Reefing Collective. And we have been fish keepers in our family for many years. I have 2 freshwater tanks. My oldest son has 2 freshwater tanks. They're all featured on our stuff. My 20-year-old son just bought a 36-gallon bow front that he's doing salt with.
Yep.
Right now it's got water in it and it's starting to cycle, and then he's going to continually upgrading equipment before he starts putting coral and everything in it. But for him being 20 years old, that was a way for him to start in the hobby without squirreling away a ton of money.
Yep.
He got a great deal on a pre-made unit that he could put together and put water in and get moving so that he can move forward.
Well, exactly. And pretty much that's what everybody could do in this hobby. We don't have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to do all this stuff for your tanks, right? Like myself, I started off when I got out of school, I ended up buying my first tank was a 220-gallon tank. That's what I wanted. I always like to have big things. And I did the DIY way. I did the lighting. I bought the kits, the Cree LEDs. I soldered. I'm in the electrical field, so I like doing the wiring and soldering, all electrical. So then, I went the other way. When I did all my other builds, I started putting more higher end stuff on there because I found when I built my own LEDs, they weren't resilient to water, corrosion. They were falling apart. So then, now I jumped into, I got into like the Hydra LEDs and stuff. But now that I'm doing fresh, so myself, I'm jumping into the freshwater tank stuff.
I loved your kickstart to that video, by the way. And I don't know, I mean, are you did you have to start out so small? I mean, come on, man. Come on.
Go big or go home.
I like big things, right? So I'm like,
Whoa, that's what she said.
Whoa. I thought this was, hey, I thought this was a family show. I'm going to tell you right now, Beav is sitting down there right now going, don't do it. He is looking at me right now going, Bull, don't do it.
You're right.
It's my lot in life to start trouble.
Yeah. So I'm like, well, I had the room. I'm like, well, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to build a bigger one. But this one here, I'm going to be doing my own DIY lighting on it. Like I was just talking to you before. So I got some cheaper lights. And like I said, I'm in the electrical field. So I'm building them and I'm taking two systems and putting them together into one. And it's so cheap. Like I think it was
but with freshwater, the lighting is not as near as important as if you were working on one of your larger reef tanks. I mean,
I'll just say it's not so much the lighting's not important, but we don't cover as many spectrums. You're basically looking at the Kelvin rating. We don't do all the ramping. We don't do all that, but that's a whole nother argument.
Right. And I mean, there is a difference too. If you're planning on doing a planted tank, which one of my tanks.
I'm doing planted.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, like we were saying, but even with the reef tank, I'm pretty sure I could take any light off the shelf and work it and make it grow my corals, no problem. You know what I mean? And I've done it before. When I first started out with my 220-gallon tank, I built my LEDs, and then when I was doing it in arena, we were doing a light changeout retrofit, and they're the awesome built they're like 2x2 LEDs that were over the rink, and these things were powerful. I threw them in the canopy of my tank, and boom, man, it was growing like crazy. Like it was awesome.
See, you lucked out. I started on my 20-gallon. I bought 2 of the 24-inch current USA orbit lights. Had those over it. Couldn't grow any.
Crap. Oh, sorry, current.
I could grow algae on the glass, and that was the extent of it. I found out how bad those things were after that. I got rid of them and put on my AI primes on there. Then I didn't have a problem growing anything. So not any light can do it.
Well, look at those new Philips or whatever they are. That Coral View is selling the
Coral.
Yeah.
Coral Plus, right?
They're a company that we deal with at lighting and industrial. They're jumped into the world.
Yeah, but Dan makes a good point.
Hockey arenas.
What's that?
They're great at lighting up hockey arenas.
Well, you never know. They do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but I'm just going to say this. I missed hockey real quick. Sorry. Your Canadian accent is throwing me off, bro.
He doesn't have an accent. What do you mean?
It's all about it.
What are you talking about?
10 minutes after I get off of this, I'm going to walk downstairs, talk to my kid, and my kid's going to look at me and go, you sound like you're from North Dakota again, eh?
Oh, come on.
Oh.
I'm from North Dakota, and I'm from as far north in North Dakota as you can get without being in Canada. I spent the majority of my life in Canada. So, yeah, I will pick up your accent, and I seriously, 20 minutes from now, you could call me on the phone and I'd be like, "How about that?"
Now you're gonna rag later.
Anyway, I'm sorry, D. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying he's gonna beat the hell out of Saul now after the show about it.
Hey,
But
I was a hockey
you made
player.
a
I
good
can hold my own.
But you made a good point. I mean, you can walk into the store and let's say you're with your kid, and a lot of the hobby is about getting people, young and old, into the hobby and staying into the hobby. So the easier you make it for a person, the more likely they're going to stay in, because how do you know what lights are going to do well before you even put coral in your tank and you're just going from start to coral? You don't know. So a lot of people buy the wrong thing the first time. I bought a zillion things. I got so much technology in my house, I could have a museum. I mean, my first lights were incandescent. I don't know if people know incandescent bulbs, but they have two ends. They were huge. They burn the hell out of your hands.
These two aren't as
that's
old
what
as
we
we are.
live.
I think we know what it is. They might not.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yeah. But you know,
I'm the youngster here. Thank you.
Yeah, baby.
I'm the one.
Yeah, but you know, if you spend a lot of money on the wrong thing up front, and like Beef says, it doesn't grow, and you're like, crap, I just spent all this money and it's not growing. A lot of those people fall out of the hobby because they say, man, this is too much for me. I did it wrong, it didn't work, and they move on with their lives. So we want to share the information. That's why, you know, the Reef Collective does so many talks about different subjects, because people have a lot of questions. They just don't know what questions to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can sit and ask questions. I can ask questions all day. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the point of, do you pull the trigger on something that you're unsure of?
Right.
And I mean, with Beav, it's a little bit different because I've known Beav now for 20 years, at least. But
he was a baby.
Oh, he was total.
Just barely over 20. Just barely over 20.
Just barely over 20 years, because I moved to Great Falls in 2000. So yeah, we're almost. Oh God.
20 years of the Beavs.
But
that's a different show. 20 years of Beef.
Right. That can be taken a few different ways as well. Hey, you can't rock radio DJ. Come on now. We do that. I can do this all day. Anyways, when it comes to him and his opinion, even if he wasn't in the reefing world the way that he is, and he came to me and said, this is him, and I had a conversation the other day over Messenger about some things. I respect his opinion because he's one of my boys. I've known him forever.
I wasted all the money on the stupid stuff already, so I'm just saving you some money.
See, there you go. You're saving me some cash. Now, by default, you two, which, by the way, the first time I ever saw this, Beav was not on he was on the show, but he was not on yet. It was just you two talking.
That must have been then.
Oh, he might have been running late that night.
Yeah,
that must have been pullover day.
Yep.
But honestly, if it wasn't for what you guys are doing, I don't know if I would be looking at getting into salt the way that I am right now. It's not that it wasn't a priority. It's always been a priority for us. I'm at that point where I have disposable income that I can, put into the hobby more so than I do with my freshwater fish.
Nice.
I have more time on my hands. But it wasn't something that we were putting down on paper or planning or researching. It was, one day we'll have a saltwater tank.
Yep.
I saw you guys talking about it and then saw Beav, and then I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting into salt. Like he can't have it. If I don't have it, he's not allowed to have it.
Oh God.
Just kidding, bud. Just kidding.
I mean, it comes
so now how far
tank.
Well, so right now we are looking at starting with something along the nano size, whether it's 10, 20, 25, somewhere in there. And strictly because I want to get my feet wet. And I'm also a glutton for punishment. I'm well aware of the fact that based on research and everything else, it is a bit harder to keep your parameters.
Small water volume.
Yep, you got to keep everything really locked in and tight,
Yep.
and for me, I like a challenge. So I'm very much, tell me I can't do it, right, Beav? Tell me I can't do it, because that's a bad idea.
There's a way to do everything. You can have I got news for you. People don't really think about it a lot, but you can have a 10-gallon reef tank and have a 40-gallon sump. People don't think that way. Or your rock could be behind the scenes, and they could be like, wow, how is this tank being kept stable? But you could have a 40-gallon sump in the back with a huge skimmer, no one would see it.
Yeah, exactly.
But the water volume would be 50 gallons.
Yeah. You may have small water volume, but you might deal with some crazy ass algae issues that might get you deterred from even keep going in the hobby too, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to respond to that. I'm not going to say you can't, because I damn well know you can. I know you will find a way just to spite me.
Yep.
What I'm going to say is you shouldn't.
It's gonna. Yeah.
I understand I understand what you're saying. Again, aside from the challenge of it, right now I'm struggling for space. Yesterday did not help. If you go to our YouTube channel, our second video that we posted, which was last night, is literally my son yesterday, my 20-year-old son, looks at me and goes, "Dad, I'm going to buy a tank today."
Right.
Like, wait, what?
That's cool.
So he took it out of your room then.
So he just put a 36-gallon bow front in my living room. I'll have to snap a picture and share it with you guys. But
yeah.
So I have a 40-gallon bow front. I have a 20-gallon, and now I have another 36-gallon bow front in my living room. And space runs out fast. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to put it over here." It's like, there's no outlets over there. I'm like, okay, well then I'm going to put it over here. That's right by the window and the door. And we live in Utah.
Yeah.
So we do get some semblance of it's not a real winter. Like North Dakota, Montana, Canada. Yeah, I'll give New York. You guys can get some real winter. You get winter. You don't get real winter. But nor'easters are for wusses. But anyways,
Canada. Wow, ouch. It's 50 degrees today, so the hell is just all.
Yeah, we don't have any snow right now, Dan.
Yeah, see, there you go. Like, whatever. I got snow this morning. It's 19 degrees outside, and that's Fahrenheit for you northerners. But but no, so we do get, like, you don't want to keep a tank next to the window. In the summertime, it gets warm here. You're going to have a lot of algae bloom. You're going to have all these different things. So, yeah, I now have a third tank sitting in my living room where I would have planned to put my nano reef that I was going to build.
Right.
The flip side of this coin is this, and I know he's not watching because he's at work. I'm going to put coral in his damn tank when I help him get it set up, because then when my tank's ready, I can just move them over.
Oh, yeah, crate them up.
If they're alive.
Oh, they will be. I am stubborn. I'm telling you.
Coral can be stubborn too.
In this build of yours.
Well, so again, we are very much in the planning stages. I'm looking at different things. Tank size is one of them. I'm also looking at different products. Is
the tank drilled?
No. Okay, but here's the thing.
Do you have an overflow of any sort?
That's what we're looking into. And then you're looking into the different things, like different types of filters. Do you on a 10-gallon, you can get away with a decent sized canister filter, have a high flow rate, and recycle, or run through multiple gallons an hour, so you're running more water through your filter than you are through your tank.
I mean, there are lots of people that run tanks on canister filters and have very successful tanks. But it's a lot of monitoring.
And it does, because the chemical reaction in a closed system is different than a sump, only because air exchange affects the nitrogen cycle different in the canister. When you expose the bacteria to air, there's a different. We learned the hard way. We used to run all of these tanks with canisters before Germans came up with the Berlin system and protein skimmers were invented, and all of a sudden stuff started living. Which was always pleasant.
Yeah.
But you can do it.
Yeah, like you can get a nano skimmer on the back of that tank.
You can.
Mm-hmm.
See, and this is the part of, well, first off, this is part of what I like about this hobby. I don't even have to have a tank, and I can have an educated discussion with you guys about what I want to do with a tank.
Yeah, exactly.
Or how to do about a tank.
Yeah.
And it's exciting and it's fun, and it's now I want to go buy things. And my wife won't let me because it's almost Christmas. But that's okay. That's okay, because after Christmas I have Christmas money. See, this
exactly. And with your skimmer too, you'll be help pumping more oxygen into your water.
Exactly. And so I mean, there's
exchange gases.
There's different ways to do all these things, and researching them and seeing the different products and how people utilize the different products is, to me, very exciting.
I'll tell you what a certain Joe told me when I told him I'm running multiple tanks. And he says, well, okay, if you have a tank under X size, he said you can remove the nutrients the same way the filtration is using to remove it if you're doing water changes on a consistent basis, which means discipline.
Oh,
so
exactly.
Now, if you're going to say, I'm going to run a 10-gallon, let's say, and I'm not recommending anybody run a 10-gallon, I'm just saying for sake of argument, let's say you're running a 10-gallon tank and you have your 5 gallons of water sitting there. Every Friday, you take 5 out or 3 out and put 3 in. You're removing nutrients, but to keep the system stable. This is why the technology comes in and why the size comes in, because more volume, more stability.
Yep.
But it can be done. The problem is with a new person to the hobby, establishing that regular schedule has to be like a person exercising every day. You want to lose weight? It's every day. If you want to do this, you get, Friday, I'm not going to do it. I'll do it tomorrow.
So in our house, Friday and Saturdays are change days. So we are very, and I completely agree with what you're saying, but I will throw one little monkey wrench into that. And I get it. You guys are saltwater people. Everybody gives freshwater people a lot of crap. But here's the
I'm a freshwater and saltwater person.
No, okay. But I'm upgrading. It's not like I'm completely new to the hobby. I understand the concepts of testing. Don't roll your eyes at me. I'll smack the taste out of your mouth, Beaver.
Virtual smack.
But no, so I understand the concept of testing my water and being disciplined and making sure I do my water changes. Now, I understand that I need to learn a completely different type of testing for saltwater compared to freshwater. But it's an upgrade. It's not like I'm learning a completely new skill set. Mm-hmm. I'm just using a different tool to get to the answer.
Exactly.
That's true.
So there is a difference between somebody going from fresh to salt. And by the way, keeping my fresh, because I love my fresh. I've got 2 golden dojo loaches that those are my favorite fish on the planet. They eat out of my hand. Like one's 15 inches, one's 16 and a half inches. I've had them since they were 3. Like, they're my babies. Like, I'm not planning on getting rid of my freshwater tanks.
Yep.
But I'm also not new to the hobby. I'm new to the salt side of the hobby, but I'm not new to the hobby. And there is a difference, in my opinion.
There's a big difference.
There is. There's a big difference.
Yeah, you should hear me asking questions to the D all the time, you guys, about freshwater stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's out of my element. You know what I mean? I'm running around. I'm trying to find all the parts, the products.
It's the same thing, because like I was telling Beaver and Ryan earlier, I'm in the hobby. I got a lot of different tanks. I got 6 freshwater tanks. I got planted tanks. I got reef tanks. But now someone has introduced a new fish to me, a new species. Now we're dealing with killifish. So like with any fish, fresh or salt, I go to acclimate them. And I say, you know what? Let me test the water. I realized the water that he's breeding these fish in is below 6 pH.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, wow, I don't have 6 pH water. No wonder he's able to do something I'm not. But see, that's nor fresh nor salt. That's chemistry just based on that fish.
See, and I have 3 killifish in my community tank, my large tank. So in our large tank, I
Uh-huh.
have a giant silver dollar. I have 2 golden dojos. I have a couple of angelfish. I have the 3 killifish. We have rainbow sharks. We have a rainbow fish.
Mhm.
I've got albino corridora and placo.
Wow.
But now, are you breeding them?
No, I mean if they breed, they
This
breed.
guy
I'm
is
not-
breed. This guy is he's breeding consistent. So it was that he says, "This is how I'm doing it because you're not keeping this like a reef tank. Like when you keep coral, you can keep the saltwater tank, you can keep the coral tank, you can keep acros, SPS. We can go on and on. But
Yeah.
now, based on what you're keeping, now the parameter changes. So when you're changing water and that pH goes from 8.2 to 8, everything in that thing could die and
Well,
then
I'm
come
gonna-
back, or maybe it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's what kind of drives people crazy in that kind of in the hobby. Like you're like, oh crap, the temperature just dropped 3 degrees and my acro turned white.
Pardon me for a second.
By the way,
My son's watching this, and he's part of Peace, Love, and Fish. He's got the 2 tanks, and he just sends me this and goes, you forgot to mention your blood parrot. Yes, there's a blood parrot in there also.
Shout out. Shout out.
I love blood parrots. I bred those a long time ago.
You know, I have a blood parrot that we have in a tank that normally you would never think. And yes, I'm going to make that mistake that everybody in the fish hobby ever does. I got him when he was small. He's in a community tank and nobody's bothering him and he's not bothering anybody. I'm well aware that one day he's probably going to become an ass and I'm going to have to move him to something else.
Yeah.
That I'm fine with that.
They get mean.
Here's the deal.
They
My
get mean,
wife
man.
wanted an albino Oscar. I told my wife, I said, we don't really have a tank. I mean, it was a small juvenile. I was like, I'll get you. If this is the fish you want, I will get it for you. We have a tank we can put it in, but it ain't going to last in there for long. We're going to have to get a bigger tank. Now, I say that with her thinking, oh, no, he doesn't know what he's talking about, blah, blah, blah. I know what I'm talking about, and I know I'm now buying another bigger tank. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Okay, so here's what I propose. Let's see if you guys go with this. Dan, since you're just now starting out with it, I propose that at some point we have you back on.
Yeah.
You give us a dollar amount for your build, and then all 3 of us will just kind of figure out in that price range there what you would need to actually have an effective tank and something that's not going to give you too much grief there.
Yeah.
And then we'll walk through it and you can kind of judge and see which way you want to go. Ask us questions about it. You know, maybe that'll help somebody else set up something.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a great idea.
I would absolutely relish that. I would appreciate it. And anytime that you're searching for, people to come on to combat. Oh, wait, he's over there.
Yeah.
Let me know.
Combat the bees effect.
It happens.
Guys, honestly, I do appreciate the time. I know you got other guests that you want to get on. I do love the fact that you guys are doing what you're doing. I love watching your stuff, especially Ryan up there. I'm getting a kick out of. I was getting a kick out of the Hulk stuff beforehand. Now I can't wait to see how you f up a freshwater tank. And here's it. D said no swearing.
We're gonna have jokes, boy.
I made it through this entire thing and I only said 1 swear word and it's legal on the radio, so it counts on here too. But I love what you guys are doing. I do appreciate it. Please look us up on Facebook at Peace, Love, and Fish. I'm sorry, I'm a marketing guy. This is what I do. So look us up, check out my stuff as well, and I would love to come back some other time.
Oh, for sure, man.
Awesome. Thank you for it.
Great. Thanks for coming on, Dan.
It was great meeting you, Dan.
It was nice meeting you guys too. Thanks. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
All right, and so we got David
You
in
made
the
a
back.
lot of good points.
Yeah,
Dave, come on in.
that's why I was suggesting that. It'd be good to have something different.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
David.
What's up,
Let me turn off
Dave?
my
We
lights.
hear you.
Can you know?
Ooh, it's like the ghost effect now.
No, it was better on.
Yeah. Keep the lights on. Keep it on.
What's up, guys?
All right.
I don't know. So, how are you guys doing today? I just got back from paintballing, so I'm so tired right now.
How did that
Paintballing. Wait, let me see the whelps. Does he have any whelps
I-
on him?
I
Did
got
they
no
get
welts today. They didn't hit me too much.
I used to paintball like religiously all the time.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Sweet.
it was obsessive. It was crazy. We were putting ads in for people to come out and play. It was fun.
Oh,
Oh man,
So,
I'm a guy. I
on the
hide in the
topic
bush.
about-
I go for the head.
so the topic earlier was about like freshwater and saltwater kind of thing. I have both too. So
Oh, you have both as well?
Yeah, baby. A man after my own heart.
Honestly,
Here,
it seems
Stock just went up.
It honestly seems like you can't be in this hobby without both. I'm just saying.
I mean, there's
Well-
my
It can be that way.
Well, a lot of
Freshwater.
people start
Very
with
nice.
freshwater and then build the confidence to go salt.
What do you have in there, Dave?
I got discus, and then I'm doing
That looked like a
right
nice
now.
planter tank there. Oh, I'm happy now.
Yeah.
Is that dwarf baby tears?
That's HT.
Ah,
Drop my phone.
even still. Drop it in the tank.
Yeah,
Ryan,
Just drop
quick,
Yeah, we want to.
we can't see
We
it.
want to see tanks. It's Saturday night, baby.
Can you see your disc? Can you see
Yeah.
your disc?
Ryan, make it big though.
You got discus there?
Yeah, I will. Here, I'll make it bigger. What am I doing? There we
Drop
go.
like really quick.
Well, you got discus in there.
Yeah.
I know we're the Reef Collective, but since Ryan was knocking on this all week, and you're keeping discus, what substrate do you have in there?
No substrate. Bare bottom.
Ah, bingo,
And then
and you
just
got
rocks.
plant wood. No,
Yes.
he's got wood and rock.
I got wood and rock and some plants. Not too many.
Oh yeah, okay. You got lily. You got lilies in there.
Yeah, that's a tiger lily.
Cool.
Yeah, you got a nice.
That was more for like aquascaping.
I winter
Nice
my lily bulbs outside now. I found that has been a godsend.
All right, so this is the reef tank. You guys probably haven't seen. it already.
Nice. I like the light fixture already.
So
Looks
the
like
light
something out
fixture-
of Star Trek.
Yeah, so the light fixture is a Nupsiche hybrid
Siche?
and Nupsych, whatever you call it, right
It's-
here.
Or Sitch. Is it Noob Sitch? Yeah.
I don't know, whatever it is. But it's a hybrid T5 and
Love it.
the oh shoot, sorry. Drop my phone again.
What size is that fixture, David?
What's that?
What size is that fixture?
What size is what picture?
The
That's
fixture.
Siche?
That
No,
picture?
behind you. Siche.
No.
The hybrid.
This one. That's 36 inches.
Okay. You've got the same size I have. I absolutely love the build quality on that. When it comes to
That's
hybrid,
what I was saying.
those things,
Nice.
oh my god. The adjustable wings and the fact that they actually feel industrial. They don't feel cheap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's
What-
pretty cool
what
because it has
model?
like rails too.
What
Right
model
here.
is that?
They only have
They're
one
only
hybrid.
higher. Yeah.
No,
there's
I
only
mean
one
that.
hybrid.
I mean that that mount that the light is in. Did you buy that or make that?
Oh, you buy it. It comes with it. It's all in one. Oh, you mean this thing right here? I made that.
Yeah, I had never seen that.
Yeah, I use my camera gear stuff, so I just put it up there.
Everybody
cool.
knows I'm the 360-degree camera guy. That give me some working. I got something to do now.
Yeah, so I have a Kessel right here, and that's
Cool.
angled at an angle, so I get more light for other corals because they need it.
For like on your frag
Yeah.
rack there.
Yeah, that's for the frag rack that needs a little bit more light, and then some of the rocks right here needs a little bit more in front because it's kind of like shadowed. The way I put my
Yeah,
rocks,
Yep.
kind of.
So-
So it's all about figuring out how to angle it and stuff.
What kind of
Tank is
LED?
really nice.
Let me feed
Like
the fish.
the LED strips that you have on there. What kind are those?
Those are SB Reef light
Okay.
bars,
Okay.
S bars, and these are 36 as well. I got two of
Okay.
those, one in the back.
So how did you mount those?
Those are actually hung from these metal rails on top.
Oh,
Here.
okay.
They're aluminum extruded, I believe, from Home Depot. And I just toggle bolt done and hang it down. That's it.
Very
And
nice.
then same thing up there too. See, keep it simple. I
got a
run
good
my lights
spread.
about. Yeah, that's the whole point. The cool thing about these lights though is that you can angle it so you can adjust where the fallout is. So you'll get all the light into the tank rather than spilling out into the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, you want to utilize all the light. You're paying for it, so.
Yeah, otherwise it's wasted energy.
Same, you should shoot it onto the glass.
Yeah, and then especially with like focused LED lights, you want to raise them up pretty high, so like the spread is more even. I have radions on top too, and another black box or SD Reef box. It's not on right now. It's on AD plus right now. So
Okay.
yeah, and these are my fish.
Yeah, it looks great.
So now, do you have anything that you've got kind of DIY'd up in there?
What's that?
Do you have anything else that's kind of DIY'd up in there?
I mean, technically, this thing is DIY. I mean, hanging it up there is a DIY thing. I put this box underneath it. It doesn't really fit this fixture, so I kind of like hung it, and then I stuck it under in the bottom of it to hold it in place, rather than putting it in here because it doesn't fit in there.
You have a controller in that tank?
Yeah, I do actually. It's right here.
Oh, there's your panel.
Yeah, that looks sweet. Nice setup.
So I have the controller. I'm running hydros and Apex.
Ah,
Nice, you got both.
Sean, are you smiling, Sean?
He's only
What?
got a wave engine.
It's a wave engine.
Every little bit else.
It
So,
does. They're a pain in the
Better
butt to program, but once you get them set, oh my God, those things are amazing. I can't imagine running a Reef without one.
What
Oh
are
yeah,
viewers?
I mean,
What size tank do you have, David? One of our viewers is asking.
my tank is a 110 gallon custom tank. It's 48 by 30 inches wide and 18 inches tall.
Okay, nice.
And it's on a stainless steel. It's on a steel stand, powder coated, 40 inches tall, with a American DJ switch, old school. They don't make this anymore. And
Yeah.
it's a advanced acrylic with a E-shop skimmer down here.
Nice.
And
Nice.
I built this custom regulator for my calcium reactor, dual stage regulator.
Cool.
With a planet tank solenoid, actually. Works really well because it runs really cool. Low wattage. And DIY, this is my DIY calcium reactor that I built myself. I'm running a Varios 2 pump on it in the
Yep.
back. So it's really quiet outside. And I'm this box too for all the stickers that we're doing right now. Yeah, and it's all DIY, and I have a Comore doser pump right here. This is a backup. This is a Wi-Fi version, and this is just the regular original one.
Yep. I got the white.
More.
It works pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I got both, so
Yeah.
redundancy, because
It's
the
nice if
main
you-
part of it.
If you're at work and you need to ramp it up a little bit, you can just hop on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty
I'm
cool.
built. Yeah, so that's that, and I'm building another calcium reactor over here, actually.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because on the one you built, where's your pH probe?
My pH probe is actually right in the middle. Right here.
Oh, okay.
So I have it right underneath a elbow, which helps it from getting bubbles stuck in between the probes.
Yep, makes sense.
And I'm pulling it. It's a little bit louder this way, but I'm doing the pull method through the Comore.
Yep.
And I have a little check valve right here. And I also added, to make it for myself easier to like top off, I added a little drain thing right here at the bottom.
Yep.
So that way, if I need to top off, it's full of water. I don't want to siphon water out. I just open the valve really quick, drain it, and then top it off. So that's something I'm working on. I have a DIY auto top off. This is the original one, which I'm going to convert to this other bigger one back here.
Okay.
This one I got from Walmart. I don't have to bring jugs in to refill the container. What I do is I have it running from my RODI unit from the back wall.
Yep.
And I have it on a XP Aqua timer thing. It has a sensor in here to tell you the water level.
Oh, okay.
And I have it set, on a timer on a smart plug that I got from Amazon, whatever.
Shout out to smart plugs.
Yeah, so the reason I did this is to avoid TDS creep from the RODI unit, because you want to refill your reservoir, not have it consistently refill as it tops off, which will burn out your DI resin.
Yep.
Mhm.
So that's the way I did it. I have a Tunzi auto top off in here, oscillator.
Yep.
Same
So
one.
the secondary backup of this too, in case something happens to this container or whatever. It's always good to have backups of everything. Redundancy is the key to success. So I actually added a little float valve in the back there. I'm sure you can see it. I like this container because it's really big. I can fit my hand in it. I drilled a 9/16 hole back here, put a float valve, and done.
Quick connection, yeah.
Quick connection. And if I need to drain this, there's a spigot right here already built in.
Yeah.
Or if I need to
Right.
refill something or like make some potassium nitrate, which I have right here on the mixer, magnetic mixer. So I just basically pour some of that water into here, switch it on, done.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Add it to the top off water, right?
I mean, that's the same container I'm using for my alcatronic reagent.
Oh, is it?
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Oh, alcatronic reagent. Oh, I see.
I wanted to get one of those magnetic mixers though.
Those are really nice. They're fun.
Yeah, I got the same one that David has. I love it.
And then I have a eShop Skim Buddy to drain all my basically crap that's in here.
Oh, that's
into
cool.
Here. I'm planning on getting a swabby or a neck cleaner for this. Yeah, to make it more efficient, and I don't have to take it off every time. I just have it all go over to the side and then just open the valve. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah. You won't get that sludge in there either.
Yeah, that's the whole point of a squeegee, is to not have sludge in the neck, so it's more efficient when it skims.
For you guys that haven't had your hand in sludge, oh yes, it stinks.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
For the new reefers out there. Oh, it's
so
poop,
nasty.
basically.
I basically all my plumbing is super simple. I don't really make it too elaborate, so that way you can figure out what's wrong and like really quick, rather than trying to diagnose every leak that you have in your tank. You know what I mean? That's
How long has your tank been running?
6 years.
Oh wow, good man.
Cool.
Nice.
6 years.
It looks it. It shows.
Yeah, the stags are about to grow out of the water, actually. I'm sure you can see it from here. It's like outside of the water. You can't really see it from that angle. Yeah, my setup is just basically rock and Biolux, and I have 3 heaters for redundancy.
No refugium, right?
No refugium. I don't need it. My nitrate's actually really low.
But he does have mangrove.
I do have mangrove up here.
Where's the mangrove?
Right there. It's actually growing. It's growing down to the
nothing.
sand. I have it.
Yeah, they send out runners. That's about it. They send out more roots than leaves.
Yep, you can see the root back there.
Nice. Look at that anemone.
So I got 3 different types of anemone. I have a CSB, I have Inferno, and I have rainbows up top.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
Maybe I show you a top down.
I like the little anemone box. Did you build that?
Oh, nah, I didn't buy that. It's simple. Feed mode. Alexa, ask Apex Fusion to set feed mode A.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
I run my tank about 77, 75-ish.
Yeah, it's about what I run, 77.
Yeah. I've got another pump on hydros. I'm planning on getting rid of these boxes right here. With the wave engine, it removes all the clutter and all the extra boxes I don't need. So that's the plan.
Red dry ones are amazing.
Yeah. I'm gonna set that off really quick. So there's a top-down view.
Nice. Finally, that's what this channel's all about. The eye candy, babe.
Yeah. This fish are happy right now.
Yep, looks great.
Look at the colors popping that.
Yeah, it's on AB plus right now, so I'm not even having under blues right now. So I wonder how it looks under blue. Let's see.
What lens are you using right now?
What?
What lens are you using right now?
It's a
Filter?
Polyp Lab hybrid slash ice cap. So it's a combination.
David's a camera guy, so he's got all the lenses, tests them all out, and finds out the good combinations.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's the fun thing I get to do at work.
Nice.
Let's see. Let's set it to blue. Actually,
Yes, Amy.
I'll show you my ramps. All right. Alexa, turn off discus light.
Oh, man after my own heart.
So it's kind of like my ramp.
Wow. Nice. Look at the sump.
It's super. Look at the whites.
That tank kicked up like WrestleMania event.
But yeah,
Stunning.
that's basically the ramp. Yeah.
You definitely have a
that's cool.
thing.
Yeah, that's impressive. Most impressive.
Let's see. Turn off some of the AB plus. See what it looks like. My Trident is actually working right now. It's testing. So I run my elk, in case you guys are wondering. I run it at 7.7 to 8. With I use Trident to measure my parameters. Recently, it's been stable right here, but I recently bumped it up with the calcium reactor, and now it's stable again. So don't worry about that peak. I always look at trend lines when I'm looking at elk and calcium and stuff. And if you notice, calcium and magnesium always push and pull. You've noticed right here, there's a peak here and there's the valley. Oh, what the heck? Did I just go down? Unclear. Too many things open. Anyways, never mind. Forget it.
Huge work.
I think my internet did something weird.
But the ability to see those trends makes a big difference, man.
Oh yeah, that's one thing I like to talk to people about, because like when people like measure the alkalinity, they always worry about the numbers. But what you want to do is look at the trend lines of your graphs. So you always want to measure alkalinity at the same time each day, or at least 2 times each day. 2 times, same time each day for 2 times a day. That makes sense, yeah. So you have 2 data points, right? And you'll graph that on a chart or something that you have, and then you just kind of look at the trend line. You can do it in Excel, super easy. And you just hit the trend line and just kind of see, if it's going up or going down, or is it leveling out?
Now, see, I'm kind of curious about something, David. I want to see this tank without the lens.
Blue.
Blue. That's still pretty, man. Look at those anemones popping there.
You can still differentiate a lot of the colors. That's
You got chalices in the back there, peeking out.
I mean,
so now you keep your alkalinity at that 7 number. What's your calcium hovering around?
430-ish.
So it's still good, well within range.
Actually, my alkaline is at 777, so it's an easier number to remember. And my temperature is also 777. Does that make sense?
777.
Yeah, so that's kind of like my lucky number, and it seems to be working. So I'm just using that as my baseline.
That's a beautiful tank. Look at those bounces, huh? Is that bare bottom too? So no, is that
no,
sand
it's actually
in there or
sand
bare
bed.
bottom?
They're sand.
Then
It's just the sand blew half of it, and then the other half went that way, and the other half, don't ask. ATO is on. Turn that off.
Chalice is on the bottom. There's so much encrusting there. I would think there's not even sand in there.
Right?
Like, I'm surprised there's no sand on there, on the coral down there.
Ooh, I just saw one of my favorite fishes.
What?
Got the yellow chorus
The
wrasse.
yellow.
Oh yeah,
Yellow
those are
cord.
my favorites.
Not
They're
forgetting,
like the best.
you're a green. You're a green guy, Sean.
Yeah, those yellow Corey's wrasse is like one of my favorite fish too. That's why I got 3 of them, or I have 3, but I don't know if I
Yeah, I
have
love
another
that.
one.
You got a mystery?
I do.
Mystery wrap.
He's pretty.
Yeah.
He's pretty big. He's like probably a good 5 inches.
Yeah, I love mine too. They're pretty awesome fish.
Wow.
See, I want to add one, but I have 2 6 lines in the yellow chorus. I'm scared they're gonna fight.
Oh, they will fight. Oh, the mystery wrasse will fight with everybody.
Yeah.
My mystery gets all my other ones. I haven't had a problem with them.
Yeah, you got stags growing out here.
Yeah, you'll be cutting that baby soon. If already he's taking over.
Size reference. Here's my hand.
Oh, it's
That's a
huge.
mo-
I need to live next door to this guy.
Right? Hey, so where are those Superman zoas?
Oh, right here. Oh, it's actually out of the water right now. I should turn
Oh
on the
wow.
water.
No wonder the top off was on.
Yeah, usually supposed to have a check valve, but I don't care. Low tide. Yeah, low tide.
Low tide, right?
A little air never hurt any coral.
I also run Tunzi pumps. These guys have been running with me for 15 years. I've been
Wow.
alternating tanks and stuff like that, and I've had them for over 15 years.
They
The
make
difference
good
between those two
pumps.
Tunzi, they do. The difference between the 2 Tunzis is that I bought that one recently, and that has been there with me forever. So that one has the black magnet, and the other one has the blue magnet. So that's the difference.
That's what I ran before the sea chase. But I love those tunsies. Those are workhorses.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I
How
have a Varios pump. Those are pretty nice too.
How many pumps do you have
Octopus.
in there? Because you got a lot of coral in there. I can imagine you must be moving some water through this tank.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 2 nozzle for the return, which is on a BCA random flow generator. And I have that one on max just to have more flow.
Yep.
But right now it's off. Uh-oh. Have to build another one?
Hopefully.
It's good. Yeah, it comes off in pieces like this. You just glue it.
Are you laser making those? Like the top you have there?
CNC routed.
Oh, seeing so.
Yeah. Laser will actually make it brittle because it heats up the acrylic. And what that makes it crack and stuff when you weld the joints together.
Oh, see, you learn something every day.
But yeah, that's my.
You have a lot of coral in there. If you had to put a number on how many coral in that tank, what's your guess?
I don't know.
There's got to be several hundred in there.
They're everywhere. I don't even know, honestly. Can you put a number on it?
I mean, that's got to be a high demand in calcium in there. I see you have you're building a bigger calcium reactor.
Yeah, I'm planning on building that one and also another one just to for the excess of CO2.
Yeah.
And I keep my pH pretty high too. And I don't even run a cal filter. Like a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I keep my alkalinity, pH at 8.12 to 8.44.
I'm running at 8.34 now.
3.34. What's your salinity?
Hydros.
Give it a second. Make sure all my stuff is back on before I forget stuff.
Yeah, we don't want to see pictures tomorrow and everything's white. Like, yeah, 6 years.
Yeah, wiped out. Yeah, I keep currently my pH is at 8.33, and it's my you can look at the trend. It actually goes up too. Like you know that
I hit 3.5. I usually hit 3.5. I get an alert from the apex.
Yeah, 8.44 right there. So yeah, I always look at trend lines at all my graphs. Find the peak, draw a straight line on top of it. If it goes up or down or even in the middle, that's kind of like where you want to see if your tank is doing okay. I have my windows open too at night. Makes it really cold. That's the reason why I have 3 heaters. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Sounds
Not
like
much to it.
more heaters.
Always change out your CO2 tank about 500 psi. So you always have new tank. I have a backup of this too, just in case. I take it from the planet tank, if anything.
There's a guy after my own heart. Not only he's got a great reef tank, but that planted tank is impressive. I mean, the trimming in both tanks is a lot of work. And if you guys don't know about planted tanks, to keep that carpet even is a nice bit of work.
Look how deep my substrate is.
Yeah, it's 3 inches, right? 4 inches.
It's like 5-6 inches.
You mixing your own but you're mixing your own substrate there.
This is actually ADA.
Oh, okay.
Substrate.
It's ADA soil.
Amazona type 2, and I'm running a UN light with a pretty simple.
So are you growing
freshwater is real easy.
Is there water in that tank right now or not?
Right now is actually immersed growth, meaning you grow
spray.
dry.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, you spray every day or every other day, whatever, and then just have it carpet. And you don't have to do anything. It's super simple. And once it's growing to where you like it, then you go ahead and flood it with water.
Yeah.
And it will convert from immersed to submersed state, which will change the leaves and stuff like that too. So
they'll turn yellow, then red, then green. It's like fall.
That's a great idea.
He's got another one. He got another one coming.
Yeah, I'm doing a sand type, and it's gonna be like more like aquascape, and I don't know yet.
Rock.
I haven't decided. Rock mostly.
There's always room for one more tank.
Yeah.
Always. But yeah,
pretty cool.
Oh shoot, that's
nice.
Water on. And then I guess my filtration, or at least my water filter, is in here. Let's see if I can get you a quick view.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
And I got another tank going too. I'm working on that one right now. So there's this tank right here.
Fresh or salt?
SPS salt.
Ooh.
Cool.
Yeah.
You built a stand for that?
Actually, it came with it, so I didn't have to build it. But I don't know yet. I'm thinking about maybe doing 80-20 for this.
I like the bracing though.
Yeah,
it looks
it's really
nice.
heavy. It's really heavy though.
But it's nice if you want to put the panels on the side, like you have your controller panels.
That's
fit
true.
right in there. You can put a door on it and perfect.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a nice tank too.
Yeah, this is a crystal dynamic tank. It's Eurobrace. One side is Starfire, 4 inches Eurobracing. Really big overflow box, which I don't like, but whatever.
Old school.
That's something I don't like about it. Yeah, but that's cool because I can actually put my hand in and see what's in there. And kind of like, well, this thing is broken when I got it, so I might glue that. Who knows? But yeah, that's that. Camera light. Out of the way.
You've got quite the project coming up there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be
Several.
cool. The more
Hey,
the more I see these Eurobrace tanks, the more I'm like, God, I want one. Like
Yeah,
I
you should.
that
It's so
design.
nice.
yeah, that's my tanks are the Eurobirds.
So I built this stand for
Usually,
my
yeah.
water storage right here, and I was able to make a brute trash can underneath it to slide back and forth, so I can hide this.
I thought for a minute I thought you were gonna have some kind of stainless steel reactor. I was like, that's a trash can.
That's a trash can for mixing water. Another tank. This is a
Bag tank.
hospital tank. Hospital
Mm.
tank.
Cool.
Yeah,
Very
I got another tank back there, but that's a mess. But yeah,
Looking good though, David.
Yeah, it looks really good.
thanks. Thank you guys.
Always a pleasure seeing your tank though. Your tank is just hashtag goals. I'm just saying.
Goals.
I hope I can grow up and become a real reefer and have a tank that looks like yours one day.
That's what we
guys.
strive for.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god.
Awesome. So any big DIY projects in the works?
Not really right now. I've been so busy with work and stuff, so I haven't had time to do anything actually. But I want to do finish the calcium reactor.
Mhm.
Is that DIY project that I've been working forever? Because the one I had before previously, it started leaking at the U seal, which I should have known better.
Mm.
The reason I was leaking is because I was using Vaseline instead of silicone.
Oh,
Anytime you use
wears down your
Vaseline around,
gaskets.
yep, anytime you use Vaseline, petroleum based, it wears out rubber.
Yeah,
And,
it eats it.
You never want to do that. Yeah, I only use it just to slide the tube in, but I guess it didn't. Whatever. I didn't have any.
You live and you learn.
Mm-hmm.
So a little
That's okay.
lesson to everybody out there trying to slip those gaskets. Don't use Vaseline.
Don't use Vaseline. No,
Yeah.
that's not there. Yeah, don't use Vaseline.
That's what she said.
Ooh, I knew one of them. Nice.
My phrase of the night.
Awesome. Well, we are at like an hour and a half now, going long again as per our norm now. But
Perfect.
thank you.
Well, when we're looking at tanks, man, when
Yep.
we're looking at good stuff like that, man, it's hard to get off.
It is. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Keep it PG, guys.
Too funny. All right, but like I said, thanks for coming on. Give your channel a quick shout out since we're doing that tonight.
Yeah.
No.
You don't want to give your channel a shout out?
No.
Okay, well, I'll
Keep
do
it
it
simple,
for you.
guys.
If-
No,
if-
stop.
No,
Go drop
No.
David a follow on Instagram at Farm Frags there. Check out his
Farm
stuff.
frags.
He puts up some awesome pictures. So you guys will really, really like that stuff.
He sure does. Well, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it.
And it was
Thanks
nice
a lot,
meeting
man.
you.
Right?
Yeah. Good.
We'll get you back on when we have a more in-depth conversation, something a little more involving that you'll like a little bit more. I mean, you've got
All right.
some really good knowledge with some stuff. So we definitely want to emphasize on that. Help the viewers out. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, guys. I mean, I've been reefing forever, so that's kind of like where I've been doing it for at least 15 years, 20 years actually. So,
Yeah.
And I worked at a fish store for over 6 years.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah, so that's where I get my knowledge from. So
Yep.
See, I'm gonna be hitting you up because I want to do an arowana tank at some point, and I'm gonna need some help
Okay.
getting that squared away.
okay, chili red, crossbacks.
See, I know you know those. That's what I'm saying.
And
I got-
Marijuana?
I got a connection for some of those if you need some, Sean.
I do.
Well, he's in Canada.
in
so-
Canada is okay. In Canada is okay.
Yeah, I'm in Canada.
Uh,
It's not a problem. No,
That's how
exactly.
they get them. Maybe some flower horns
Red
too, right?
Dragon.
Yeah, you don't let it
Dragon.
happen in there, eh?
It's definitely a possibility. I know that is definitely your expertise right there. So we're gonna talk. I'm gonna
You
figure out
can't
what
have them in the States.
Awesome.
You can't have. You can't have them in the States.
depends
No.
on the state.
No Asian
It's-
marijuana.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
I
unfortunately.
True or not?
There's some
All right,
states where
guys.
you, like you can
I'm
go
gonna get off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat.
Have a good night, bud.
My food's cooking. So thanks guys
Awesome.
for having me.
Good
Thanks,
night.
Joe. All right. So real
Yeah.
quick little show and tell session here. So since.
That's a good note to wrap up. I think I was in a trance looking at that tank.
Right? Okay, so finally, just for all of you that are wondering and that haven't necessarily seen it, you finally have one of my control fours hooked up on my office tank there. It's a little blue. It was just a quick picture just to get one. And then, oh, no, not the right one. This is a great little fish. And here is my water box. It needs to be cleaned. I've got to finish a whole bunch of cable management here because it's really, really getting me. But I've got my wave engine and my control 4 all set up on there. It's amazing, amazing. I love this.
So you've been really enjoying it.
Oh, yeah. Once I finally get it dialed in and everything, it's great. I mean, look at my limited power bricks that I have because of the wave engine and everything. I got rid of 4 power bricks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the wave engine has direct drive cables there that are powering my gyres and my Pulse 2s in that tank.
Okay.
It's so nice to not have those because those are some big power bricks and they get hot.
I wonder how many can that wave engine handle? Like max
4.
out? 4? 4 is your max.
Yeah. But I don't need any more than 4. Yeah, I've got the 2 gyres and the 2 pumps. But that's just in the wave engine. Now, with the control on there as well, if I wanted to power a couple more, I could.
Yeah.
But I don't need them. So I use the drive ports on the control for different stuff, like my ATO. But yeah, it's super nice.
Yeah, it's pretty slick.
So now how long did it take you to set up?
Okay, so
I gotta ask because I ask.
I'm gonna bring back my fish here. This is my awesome war paint clown goby hanging inside one of my Lobos.
Yep.
Hey,
that's cool.
He was just staring at me like, "What are you doing?" This was while I was working on that control. I couldn't help it. I had to take a picture of him. He was too cute. Okay, so to answer that question, on my water box, it took me like 4 hours ish, and on my Cade, so my office tank, barring a problem, I would say my actual setup time on it was like 2 hours, but that was running all of the cables and getting stuff kind of lined up and everything. As far as actual programming goes, though, once everything was set up, oh my God, I didn't even break out a manual. It took me like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, I did screw up, and I didn't realize that I needed to create outputs for the power supply. So I fought it for about 2 hours, just trying to connect and reconnect because my power strips wouldn't supply power. And then I realized what I did wrong, and it was just kind of a facepalm moment, and I could have been done way faster had I actually paid attention to what I did. So that problem has been brought up to Coral View, and I was informed that in the next update, they're going to make programming all of those sockets and stuff so much easier. So realistically, when they said 15 minutes to get it running, legitimately, you can do it in 15 minutes.
Well,
now, that doesn't include making it look pretty. It doesn't include necessarily putting your stuff where you want it and everything. But if you're starting out with a brand new tank with no water and everything, oh yeah, legitimately 15 minutes, you can probably run it all, no problem.
Yeah, exactly.
They're awesome. So I'm excited to see how these play out long-term wise. It's been a learning experience. Honestly, I'm kind of glad that I haven't messed with other controllers because I didn't have to relearn stuff, I guess is a good way of putting it.
Yep.
So now, would you say you're comfortable doing the phone application? Like you've been controlling it from the phone, you getting notifications?
Oh, yeah. No, I've got all the alerts.
How is that?
It's super easy. Legitimately, when you're setting everything up, it has an alert level, and you can pick whether you want it in yellow, orange, or red, I believe. But it just signifies which different type of alerts are going to go, whether or not you're going to get a text or an email, or if it's just going to be a light on the box, or if the box itself is going to, or the control unit itself is going to make an alarm sound, which is really annoying, by the way. So you do notice when an alarm is going to put that on there.
Really?
Yeah, but you select all that stuff while you're going through everything. It's all right there and super easy to navigate and link everything together.
Yep.
Like the ports, for instance, with the Wi-Fi power strip, when you go through and you're selecting stuff and assigning the ports for each thing, it actually removes it from the list. So you're not scrolling through extra stuff. You're just seeing your available ports.
Okay, that makes it nice.
Yeah, it's super nice.
Yes, and now you pair it with the power supply, and then it will show up in the Hydros app.
Yep.
That's cool.
And then, I mean, I don't know if you guys will actually be able to see this very well, but I'll pull it up. So this would be, okay, so this is my office tank. but when you pull it up, you end up getting a list kind of like this. So it'll tell you what.
Can you run this on the computer as well?
Can I what?
Can you log on the computer?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
There is a
desktop
app. So not on a computer that I'm aware of. There might be a web address that you could go to or whatnot. But like if you have a tablet hooked up, like a lot of people do with their Apexes, you can get the app on your tablet and do everything there.
Okay, so like running like a PC or a Mac.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
as
not
long
a
as
desktop app.
Let's see. So yeah, but
let me see. Place.
You've got all the different picture icons there and stuff where you can go through and it'll gray out stuff if it's not turned on, and then it has it lit up if it is turned on. But I mean, that's just that stuff. I mean, when you go to your inputs and you want to look at stuff,
how's the response rate?
You change everything to graphs and all that stuff. Like, what do you mean? Like switching between stuff?
A refresh.
You
like
want to
refresh, yeah.
Turn your lights on. So you hit the turn the lights on toggle. Do they turn on right away, or is there a delay?
Oh, seconds. Like it's like a second. Like you hit it and you hit it. Like if you're looking at your light, right? You look at your phone, you hit the button. By the time you look back at your light, it's off.
Yeah, I've used a few there. It has such lag behind it.
Yeah, these are nothing. And then connecting even remote
pretty quick.
Like, so let's see if I can kind of do this, right? There it is. So like there's the control and hit here. And so I've got my office tank here.
Okay.
Boom. My office tank is already loaded up and that's through the Wi-Fi.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's pretty slick.
It's a lot faster.
That is nice.
The original version of the app with the Wave engine was a little bit slower, but this one, super snappy.
Okay.
It's impressive.
Good to know.
Distance. Like that's my office across town where that's connecting to. So it's going through a lot of stuff to get to that point.
Yep.
Just saying. Totally awesome.
Well, I'm impressed.
So that's a thumbs up from BeavsReef.
Yeah.
At this point, most definitely.
Is there anything left that you have as far as connection that you're looking forward to adding for the hydros? Like, is there anything you haven't added yet?
There is.
I know you had to order water change. You were working on the water change system.
Yeah. Well, that I'm doing on the concept tank, just kind of messing around with it. I don't have that hooked up as far as the hydro stuff goes. I do, however, have a Wi-Fi strip that I have to go plug in still. But I'm going to set it up on my concept tank that's going to hook through my control. So I'm going to be able to turn off like my return pumps and my lights and everything if I really want to. Mainly it's just for water changes. So I can just hit it and turn off the return pump instead of having to unplug them or flip the switch every time, because that just gets annoying. So I got a nifty little way of being able to do that now. And I'm running, 2 different tanks off of the one control. So it's a nice little feature. And they're wireless because, I mean, these tanks are across the room from each other. I'm not going to run a wire all the way across my room to connect them or anything. So,
that's a bonus for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely.
You guys know I've been getting spoiled. I'll tell you that is great. I mean, I'm playing with my tanks from work all day. I've become a kid again. Every company out there has got to be like pushing wireless because that is the way to go.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I've been able to glean some information from paying attention to people as far as some of the new products that they're going to release as far as the hydro stuff goes.
Yep.
I'm telling you, there's some amazing stuff that's in the works, and I am super excited for it. I mean, it's going to cost me a whole lot more money because I'm going to have to buy some more pieces to be able to put all this stuff in because I've used all my ports, but it's going to be worth it in the end. I'm really excited. Really excited. So we'll see how it works long term, though. But I'm at this point, honestly, excluding some user error stuff and a couple of very minor programming issues as far as settings go, I haven't had any problems whatsoever, and I love it. And now I feel a lot more comfortable actually being able to leave town and know that I can check in on my stuff and actually see everything.
Well, exactly. So you're becoming a professional now with this controller.
I mean, I'm trying to be.
Well, Beavs, you're a little late to the party because now you're finally seeing what it is to have control, period.
Yep.
It's the sleep at night factor.
Come on now. I'm still technically a baby reefer. I've only been in for, almost 2 years now. In like 3 months, it'll be 2 years.
Nice.
If I turn anything on and off from my job again, I think my fish are going to hold up picket signs because I've been playing with the thing so much. I mean, now all you got to do is add the camera, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's the plan. I wish Coral View would release one, but until that's done, I'm going to look into some options. Yeah, I definitely want it. But at the same time, I'm a little leery because my roommates might get a little mad at me creeping around. They hear a camera whizzing around. And hey, at least I'll be able to.
I haven't told the wife yet. She don't realize they turn.
Well, they're eating his food. It's the best security.
That's right.
Well, yeah, because now if I go away, I can literally turn on the cameras, focus on the tank. I can turn the feeder on, or I can watch while the tank is being fed, and I can zoom in on the camera and I can turn it off. So that kind of eliminates what is it? Fish sitter. Remember, we used to have fish sitters. Somebody had to come to your house, feed the fish. You can literally look at the tank, see what's going on, and control it.
Yep.
So Dan just had to message me. Seriously, giving me a hard time about fresh, and you want monster fish? Yes, Dan.
No,
I do want a monster fish. I just want an arowana, okay? Gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
One. That's all I want.
Maybe
a couple stingrays with it. I'm just saying.
You need like at least an 8 to 10 foot tank, or they will jump the hell out. I had arowanas on my living room floor more than once.
I'm gonna get a 15-foot tank.
There you go.
That's a lie. That's a lie. I'm going 12, but
the people that know me will know that reef tank used to house my snakehead. He was 2 feet across.
Dang.
Before they were illegal. Used to splash my friends. If you walk past that tank, he used to splash you with water. That was his guy. He got his jollies off.
That's funny. Fish, man. That's like Amy's puffer fish sitting there spitting water.
Yep.
Yeah, that was crazy. He spit water at him.
Such personality.
We've been on here. We've been kicking here for almost 2 hours, man.
Yeah.
All right, we definitely better cut this out.
Yep. Well, thanks for everybody that tuned on for today's DIY. It was pretty awesome. Thanks for all our guests that jumped on and showed us their tanks.
Yeah, sometimes we just gotta bring it to the people, see what the people are doing. It ain't all about us. Sometimes you guys got questions. And if you have questions, we try to do a weekly poll. Check out Farm Boy Reef, check out BeavsReef, check out D from Brooklyn. Leave your questions because it gives us a little input as to what you guys want to see or who we can bring on the show.
Yep, exactly.
Right. Okay, so on that, thanks for hanging out with us. Again, you have questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, put that stuff up. We'll get back to you one way or another. Stay safe, avoid COVID. Hopefully you guys are prosperous, have a great holiday season, and be ready for next week. We're getting a previous guest back on. We're going to cover a bunch of stuff that we didn't have time to cover for in a previous show. So stay tuned for that announcement on who that is. It's going to be a great show.
Sounds good. I'm excited for that one. All right. Well, you have yourselves a great night, guys.
Right.
Love, peace, and hair grease.
Awesome. Thanks.
Bye.